Good morning, Bucknutters. Welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Wednesday, August 28th, 2024. I am Dave Biddle flying solo on today's show. 3 days until the opener, my friends. Cannot wait. It's almost here, and we were able to glean a lot of information yesterday. Starting roles getting filled, where certain coaches are going to be coaching. I think this is all good news, and we're going to get into all that. Before we do that, I'll let you know about our friends over at Manscaped. Handyman right here. Bam. All right, let me actually pull the copy up here. Fellas, do you want your grooming routine to be a one-and-done deal? Well, the days of using the same trimmer for your face and your private parts are over, thanks to our friends at Manscaped. They've come up with the ultimate package to keep your hairs trimmed from 12 to 6, introducing the Beard and Balls Bundle, featuring the Lawnmower 5.0 and the Beard Hedger, a trimmer for the money maker and another for the boys downstairs. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code Bucknuts at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code Bucknuts at manscaped.com. No more juggling multiple tools or dealing with subpar results. Just efficient, effective grooming wherever you need it. There you go. All right, let's get into it. 3 days away from the opener. We know that Tegra Tshabola is now the starting right guard. Now, does that mean he's for sure going to be the starting right guard all year if he's healthy? No, it's not etched in stone, but, Ryan Day said yesterday he's earned the right to start against Akron. I feel this is good news on multiple fronts for Ohio State. We've talked about this a lot. Like we've said, myself and all of the guests that I have, Jay Book, Bax, obviously Dan Rubin, everybody, we've all said this is going to be good for the Buckeyes if Tegra wins the job, because that will mean that he's come of age and he will have earned the job. And then it allows the Buckeyes to have a super sub with Carson Hinsman, who has 12 starts under his belt at center, who can be the top backup guard. We have a question I'm going to get to about if something happens with Donovan Jackson, who'd be the next guy in. He might be the top backup guard, although I wouldn't rule out Austin Syverveld. He's a guy that he can play guard and tackle. Redshirt freshman, definitely on the rise. But now Hinsman can be, the top backup guard in theory, and certainly the top backup center after starting 12 games, every regular season game at center last year. So I thought that's, I late last week when I asked Tegra if he felt like because we had kind of heard rumblings he was probably going to start. I asked Tegra, do you feel like you're in line to start against Akron? And he kind of gave a little wry smile. He's such a nice kid off the field, and then he's just a beast on the field. But he kind of gave a wry smile. He said, that's up to the coaches. You kind of read between the lines. It's like, oh yeah, he is going to be the starter. So that was not a surprise yesterday when Ryan Day said that, but I thought that was good news for Ohio State, because this young man, 6'6", 327, and he's not like he's not going to be a blazer in the 40-yard dash or anything, but he doesn't need to be. He's quick for that size. He moves well. He's got good feet for that size. But power is his game, and I like that he's playing guard. They made a wise decision, moved him inside to guard. Just leave him there. Don't do any cross training where we're going to try and make him learn every position. Have him play right guard and see if he can master it. Not that he's mastered it, but he's earned the starting job. So I think that's really good. And again, it allows Carson Hinsman to be that super sub. So all of a sudden there's some sneaky good depth. Which leads me to a question that I want to get to. Good morning, everybody. It's going to be hard to get to everybody's thoughts that's doing questions or comments that are doing them live when I do this solo, but I did have a few questions that I starred before the show started from Mika on YouTube. If Donnie Jackson misses some time, who fills in? Do we get Hinsman and Tshabola on the O-line together at all? Yeah, that'll be interesting, because Carson's really repped at right guard and center, obviously. I imagine he's done some at left guard, but I think that's mostly been Austin. Big Austin. He's got big tree trunks for legs. Another big boy, 6'5", 320. Same exact size as Josh Fryer, 6'5", 320. So it might be Syverveld. I hope I'm pronouncing his last name right. It's either Syverveld. I think it's Syverveld. I think that's what Coach Day said. Regardless, he is a young man on the rise for sure. So it could be him. It could be Austin. I'll just call him Austin. I know I'm not going to mispronounce that, hopefully. But so it might be Austin, but it could be Carson Hinsman. I'm not sure about that, Mika. But this is the good thing. It's not like, they have, it's got to be Carson because they don't have anybody else. It's like they actually have options. Even Zen has come along a little bit as the backup left tackle. as now a fourth-year junior. Again, you don't want Josh Simmons getting hurt or anything. And by the way, this line now, Ohio State's going to average just a hair under 6'5", hair under, like about 6'4", 0.9. So right around, let's just round up. So they're going to average about 6'5", 317 pounds on their offensive line. 6'5", 317 with Tegra in there as a starter. I mean, that's, it's not like the biggest line ever. It's a pretty damn big line, though. And, they've got some athletes up there, too. Like Josh Simmons is a good athlete. Pretty excited about this offensive line, considering that's supposed to be the weakness of the team. That's pretty good business if that's the weakness. They've come around, and maybe that stomach bug was, dare I say, a blessing in disguise, because it allowed guys like Austin to go play some left tackle and hold his own. He impressed Coach Day, that's for sure. Get to one more, and we're going to get to – so I think Tegra earning that starting job, that was not surprising news yesterday, but good news. Jeff on the YouTube, what is the chance that Dallin Hayden transfers back to Ohio State after Trey and Q go pro? I won't be surprised if Dallin transfers somewhere else, because I firmly believe this will be Deion's last year at Colorado, whether they tank, whether they have a good year, or somewhere in between. Likely somewhere in between. I don't think they're going to suck, and I don't think they're going to be good. But I think they're going to be right around 6-6, 5-7, something like that. We'll see. The Big 12 is not exactly a tough conference, although they've got a relatively tough schedule. We'll see. But I think they'll be right around 5-7, 6-6, right around there. They've got 2 first-round picks with Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, and 9 transfers on their offensive line. So I think Dallin was a good get for them. But yeah, they brought in 9 transfers on their offensive line. We'll see how that works out. Probably not well. But so I think Dallin after this year might transfer. I don't think it'll be back to Ohio State, though, if I had to guess. I'm sure he'd be welcome back. Well, I don't know. I mean, for some reason, I don't know. For some reason, he basically won the Maryland game for him. At least offensively, he did. Back in, that was his freshman year. So it would have been 2022. He basically won the game against Maryland, and then the next week didn't even play against Michigan, or barely played. Chip Trayanum started that game at running back. Man, they were depleted at running back that year. Let's hope that doesn't happen this year. All right, so the other news, a couple other items that came out from yesterday. Sonny Styles is your starting will linebacker. Now, Jim Knowles says he considers C.J. Hicks a starter as well. They're going to mix. C.J.'s going to come in and give Sonny a rest, or sometimes Sonny's going to move to Mike, which I found that interesting. They'll give Cody Simon a rest, and you'll have C.J. Hicks and Sonny Styles out there together. Knowles didn't talk about 3 linebacker sets yesterday. He talked about that a little bit, and I think as you guys know, I was of the I'll believe that when I see it mode when it comes to 3 linebacker sets under Knowles. He just doesn't do that. So and maybe they'll mix it in every once in a while. But I did find it interesting. He said CJ is going to play a bunch, and that's not a surprise to anybody, but it was interesting to hear him just break it down. Like, we're going to move Sonny to Mike at times. That was interesting. And they said Arvell Reese is going to play. Gabe Powers is in the mix. So they've got 5 linebackers that they like. Those top 3 are going to play the most snaps, obviously, with Cody Simon and Sonny Styles as the starters, and then C.J. Hicks is that top backup. But Arvell Reese, keep an eye on him. I like Gabe Powers too. I mean, they've got those 2 guys being linebackers 4 and 5. That's some solid depth there. So especially when you only play 2 linebackers at a time. So Sonny Styles sounds like he has just had a really good camp. It's too bad we can't see when they're actually out there like playing real football. But hey, 3 days from now we will. And he's found a home at will linebacker. And I really feel like the way, just listen to the way Ryan Day talks about Sonny Styles. There's just like I don't know. You can just tell there's just these glowing comments, and it's just like he just can't say enough nice things about Sonny. And he just feels like, and it makes a lot of sense. Sonny's 6'4", 3, what is not 325. That'd be pretty big. 235. Yeah, 6'4", 235, and runs like the wind. And he has found a home at will linebacker. So I thought that also good news. I like what Knowles, again, what he said about C.J. Hicks. We consider him a 1. So good stuff there. And Chip Kelly coaching from the box. I did not expect that, and I love that. I absolutely love that. I feel like coordinators should coach from the box. It's been ages since he's coached from the box. I'll have to find out exactly when the last time that was, because I believe I think he coached from the field when he was offensive coordinator at Oregon. I could be wrong on that, obviously. And then he took over for, was it Bilotti? Yeah, as head coach, and has been a head coach ever since until now. He can just go sit up there and be a mad scientist up there in the press box. Knowles is up there being a mad scientist in the press box. I love that. Why do I love that? It's twofold, okay? It's first of all, the biggest reason is you see the field markedly better. Markedly better. As anybody, I'm sure all of you have been on a football field at some point, whether even if it's high school football, it's really, really hard to see the action. I find myself, and I'm decently tall. I'm 6'3". If I'm on the field at Ohio State, I find myself looking up at the Jumbotron to the video board. I'm dating myself calling it a Jumbotron, the video board, to watch the action. I'm serious. And you can kind of see, but it's just, it's really, really hard to see the field, especially when you're the play caller. So I love that Chip Kelly's up there. They're going to have the helmet communications this year, the Connor Stalions rule. And my friends, we're going to talk about Connor Stalions in the Netflix documentary. Don't worry. We're going to get into that. Oh, yeah. So I really like that Chip Kelly and Jim Knowles. Jim Knowles has done it all 3 years now. This will be his third year because Knowles coached from the field, I believe, at Oklahoma State and Duke. We have pictures of him coaching from the field at Duke and Oklahoma State. I believe he did all the time. He definitely did sometimes because we have pictures of it. So this must be something that Ryan Day, I'll have to ask Coach Day about this next time we get a chance. Oh, we're going to get a chance to meet with Coach Day after practice again today. New media schedule this year. We get Ryan Day every Tuesday. That doesn't change. That formal press conference every Tuesday at high noon. Every Tuesday at noon, Ryan Day, usually followed by Knowles. And yesterday we got Will Howard too, which is really cool. So that doesn't change. What does change this year, we'll get Day after practice every Wednesday. Jerry Emig, the SID, calls it a lightning round. So you're going to get Day news every Tuesday at noon, and then every Wednesday night after practice. So around 6:30, 6:45 p.m. every Wednesday. And then nothing on Thursday except for his coach's show. Used to be a call-in show, and sometime late in the Urban era, it transitioned from a call-in show to just the coach's show. No more call-ins. No more, I love you, bro. Remember that with the first year of the Urban Meyer era, guys, people would call in and everybody's just would be like, hi, Urban, love you, bro. And it just turned into like its own little thing. Kind of missed those days. I liked it when it was a call-in show. Hey, what are you going to do? But yeah, so nothing for Coach Day as far as media on our end on Thursdays, which is a change from the last few years. Everything will be Tuesday and Wednesday with Coach Day. And we'll get players after practice every Wednesday, and sometimes some assistant coaches. Well, that's pretty rare once the season starts. Usually if we're going to get an assistant coach, it's going to be on Tuesday after Coach Day, or certainly after the games as well. So I love that Chip Kelly is coaching from the box because you can see the field so much better. So that's number one. Number two, I always use the Tom Herman example. Whatever you want to say about Tom Herman and, him as a head coach, or how he, some of the stuff that happened after, he left Ohio State. He was a hell of a good offensive coordinator. There's just no doubt about it. I mean, they won the national championship with their third string quarterback, and that was Tom Herman calling plays. So I thought they designed a really good plan when they had Cardale in there. Like, we're going to just use the sidelines for the most part. And against Wisconsin, that Big Ten championship game, they only threw to the sidelines. They didn't want to go over the middle. They felt like, well, either Cardale will use that big arm. He's either going to hit his receivers like Devin Smith, or he's going to throw it out of bounds. We're not going to risk throwing picks over the middle for this first collegiate start. So they came up with a good game plan with Cardale for all three of those games. But I remember I asked Tom Herman, why do you like coaching from the press box, not the field? He said he talked about the sterile environment. He talked about the fact that you can see the field better, of course. But he had a specific example. And I know I'm repeating myself because I've said this before on shows. We said it yesterday in our instant reaction. But for those that haven't heard this, it's a great example. It was early in the urban era. It was either 2012 or 2013. One of you guys will remember. It was either 2012 or 2013. They're playing Purdue at home. Braxton gets hurt. They're down like pretty big against Purdue. Looked like there was no chance they were even going to come back. They come all the way back with Kenny Guyton, right? And Carlos Hyde just crashes in for a touchdown. Buckeyes are down 2. They need a 2-point conversion in the final seconds to send it to overtime, right? So they do, and everybody on the sidelines going crazy, saying, let's just give it to Carlos. Let's keep pounding the rock. Everybody, getting caught up in the moment. Tom Herman's like, no, all week he's up in the box in that sterile environment. He says, all week we said we're going to do the throwback pass to the tight end from Kenny Guyton, or from Braxton if it was Braxton. This is what we're going to do if we need a 2-point conversion, period. Practice it all week, no matter what. And Herman said, I always wonder if I was down on the sidelines, I might have got caught up in all that too. But I'm up there and I was like, no, we're running that play. What did they do? They ran the throwback pass, 2-point conversion. Bam, Buckeyes go on and win in overtime. 2013. Oh, we have various thoughts here. All right, you guys need to fight it out and tell me which one of you guys was right. I said it's either 2012 or 2013. We have Chris saying 2012, Brutus saying 2013. It was definitely one of those years. So anyway, my point is like that. I love that example. There's probably a million other examples, but that's a specific example. Why do you coach from the box? You see the field better, and you don't get caught up in all the chaos on the field. It's chaotic on a football sideline. You got like 100 dudes on there, or more than 100 dudes. When you consider like coaches and support staff and trainers. I mean, you got, if it's a home game for the Buckeyes, you got over 100 players. So to say it's chaos is about as accurate as you can get. It's not even controlled chaos. It's just chaos. 2012. There we go. We have a final. Carlos. I love how we had Facebook, YouTube, and X all chiming in. Those are the 3 platforms that we do our show live. And we have a lot of people listen on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all the other platforms we're on. Listen straight from Bucknuts. But those are the 3 platforms we do where you can catch us live and actually have live comments. So, yeah, 2012, the Kenny Guyton comeback against Purdue, the throwback pass to tie it. And who knows, maybe if they would have given the ball to Carlos Hyde, that would have been fine. Probably would have been, right? But I love that example. I love that example. Also love it. You guys, like, seriously, like, if you're a guy, you've been using the same, like, a deodorant for years like I have, like, it might be time to mix it up. Mando's really good stuff. Whole body deodorant. I like this cream deodorant. I just put it in my laptop bag so I have it. These days where it's going to be like 95 degrees here in Columbus, it's good to have a little extra deodorant. And you guys can get a good deal from Mando and check it out yourself. Mando whole body deodorant will be your new best friend. Best friends are good. Mando is clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours. It's safe for the whole body, pits, packages, feet, and everywhere in between. Stops odor before it starts. It's American made. It's available in 4 cologne quality scents. Bourbon leather is my personal favorite. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant. That's what this is. It comes with 2 free products of your choice as well, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and it comes with free shipping. Luckily, I have a discount code to help you get hooked on my favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code Bucknuts at shopmando.com, shopmando.com. There you go, my friends. All right. As I mentioned, so we got, as we will every week, last year we got Jim Knowles every Tuesday pretty much. I think every week. I don't think it was just pretty much. I think we got him every week. Head coach of the defense. So we got Ryan Day, Jim Knowles, and it sounds like we're going to get Will Howard almost every Wednesday. Ohio State's assistant SID said, like, you guys are probably going to get Will like almost every week. I'm like, that's awesome. Because those are the settings you can actually, after the game, they're getting them in there, in and out. It's easy for them to say, I need to watch the film before it. Tuesdays is a great time to, they're in there for a while. Like we talked to Will Howard for 15 minutes yesterday. I encourage everybody to watch the video, read the stories. Definitely just sit down and watch the video. This young man, without being cocky or anything, he's what you want in a quarterback as far as commanding the room. You can just see why people gravitate toward him. He's just a leader. He's not uncomfortable. He commands a room. Again, without being cocky. He's not one that just steps in there like he owns the place, but like he just has a very calming effect. And I told the story yesterday, on our instant reaction. Dane Sanzenbacher was a guy that I always thought was mature beyond his years. And I have the fortunate the fortune to work a little bit with Dane now, and on my side job, I do some radio here in Columbus, 97.1 The Fan. And Dane recently joined our team as, he's going to be helping out here and there. He's not going to be like a full-time guy or anything, but I love Dane and had a chance to talk with Dane. And he told the story on the air about he had never met Will Howard. And he's like, yeah, these people think maybe these former players and current players, everybody knows each other. He's like, it's just not the case. Like, unless you're over there, you just don't know these guys, especially a guy that, just transferred in. So he got a chance to meet Will Howard, and they talked for a while at the Cardale Jones softball tournament, or charity softball event, which is former players versus current players. Which you don't want to be a former player right now playing against these guys when they got Lincoln Keenholtz and Emeka Egbuka out there. Jeez, those guys are unbelievable. I mean, anyway, we don't need to do a deep dive on how good the softball players they are. But Dane told the story about how he was so impressed with Will Howard. He's like, wow. He's like, this kid is a leader. This kid is a leader. And he's like, I was so impressed with just everything he said. And again, coming from Dane, to me, that's high compliment. Dane, highly intelligent guy, played in the NFL for 4 years. Good player, very good player at Ohio State. Underrated, tough guy, not a big guy. Dane would throw his body out there around at like 180 pounds soaking wet. So I take that. That's high praise coming from Dane. And I saw it myself. Yeah, I mean, we've seen it since Will's been here, but it was on display big time yesterday. I love that. I feel like, with very few exceptions, I feel like to be a good quarterback, you have to be charismatic. You have to be a leader of men. You have to be charismatic. You have to be, with very few exceptions. So think about the best quarterbacks. Just start thinking about the top quarterbacks, past, present, whatever. Probably a charismatic dude, right? Yep. Will Howard's a charismatic dude. And, they're going to actually use the huddle sometimes. He's going to command that huddle. Even have Denzel Burke, touting him now. Denzel was kind of like the one holdout. I need to see more out of Will Howard. I like that Denzel. That's leadership, though. Now Denzel's like, singing the praises of Will Howard. I love it. You had Caleb Downs saying he thinks that Will Howard's an elite quarterback. I know. What are they going to? They're going to trash their own quarterback. I hear you, but like Denzel didn't trash him in the spring, but he did say I need to see more out of him. Kind of close to trashing him. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I have very high expectations for Will Howard. Very high. I think he's going to be first team All Big Ten. And I know Dylan Gabriel's in this conference, and I'm maybe the only one predicting that Will Howard's going to be first team All Big Ten. But if he's second team All Big Ten and Ohio State achieves their goals, I think we'll be okay with that. All right, let's get to the Connor Stalions mockumentary, as I call it. I find this very funny because I almost didn't watch it. Finally watched it because I thought, okay, they're going to make him out to be a sympathetic figure, and I don't have any time for that. I don't have any time for making this guy out to be a sympathetic figure at all. Okay, I mean, there's, I have very few rules for my daughters who play tennis, but the one at the top of the list is no cheating. No cheating. Because in tennis, it's like you're on the honors system in like high school tennis, right? They don't have like it's not like referees and umpires and stuff like that at a high school tennis match. It's up to whoever is receiving the shot. They call it in or out. So no cheating is the number one rule. So I have no time for painting this clown as a sympathetic figure. So I went in thinking, this is just going to piss me off watching this. Tell you what, this guy is so creepy and such a liar. I think it made him look worse. Whatever, I think if you're just a neutral observer, obviously I'm not talking to neutral observers right now. I'm not a neutral observer. Let's just be real about it. We all have biases here. We all like Ohio State. We might have a Michigan fan or two in here. We sometimes do. For the most part, we're Ohio State fans. We're biased. Think of a unbiased college football fan who went in here with an open mind, but probably had heard the stuff and might have had a negative connotation of Connor Stalions, but at least went in with an open mind, right? Like I went in with a closed mind thinking this is going to be BS. This is going to be complete BS. Like a lot of these Netflix documentaries are complete BS. We love Urban, but Swamp Kings, come on. They left out way too much of the bad stuff. They just did. And you can't tell the story without mentioning certain things that happened at Florida. You just can't. And they did. So I was just like, okay, this is going to be complete crap. But it wasn't. And it just made him look worse. So I think if you're a neutral observer and you went into this, you came out thinking this Connor Stalions guy is a creep. He's a liar, and he's almost like he's proud to be a creep, proud to be a liar. The stuff with the NCAA, he's like laughing. Oh, I don't know. That doesn't really look like me with the Central Michigan stuff. It's like, I mean, that's not going to end well. You know, you can say that the NCAA is toothless. I mean, Michigan's going to be a repeat offender, and you got them thumbing their nose at the NCAA. It was pretty funny. They were going to honor Jim Harbaugh. They announced that. Boy, they did an about face quickly on that, didn't they? Somebody reached out to them and said, hey, you might not want to do that. It was like, it reminded me of last year when there was word that Harbaugh was going to be suspended, and they were like, well, we're going to fight it all the way. We're going to take this to court. We're going to take this to court, period. And then it was like somebody showed them something. Probably the Big Ten said, let me show you this. And they're like, oh, yeah, okay, we're cool with it. We're going to accept Harbaugh's 3-game suspension again. He was suspended 3 games to begin the year, suspended for 3 games to end the regular season. I mean, that is a program. And again, it's been a slow drip, but the hammer's coming eventually. Not like the hammer, like they're going to get the death penalty or anything like that. But like the people that thought this was a nothing burger, yeah, I think reality is setting in somewhat, depending on where you go. But I know, I mean, I'm friends with a couple of Michigan fans. They don't like admitting this to Ohio State fans, but reality is setting in. Whether they like to admit it or not on their message boards, reality is setting in for the realistic Wolverine fans. They're like, oh, crap, this is actually something. We still don't know exactly what, but anybody who thought this was just going to get swept under the rug, nope. They're already under NCAA, probation or whatever they're on for the stuff during COVID. That has nothing to do with the sign stealing stuff. And it's not just the stealing of the signs. It's like the lying about it and how deep it went. What a network it was. And again, I thought that documentary made him look worse. I thought he looked just like a clown and proud to be a clown. Hey, I guess if you're going to be a clown, do it proudly. I don't know. Yeah, here's one. I mean, he does. I'd be kind of worried about him. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, a lot of people are using the exact same word. They're calling him a sociopath. Yeah, I won't go that far. But hey, I mean, he does come across a little strange. And by a little, I mean a lot. But I was surprised. I thought, again, they were going to make him out to be the sympathetic figure. Maybe that was the intention, and he just is such an idiot that he was like, no, I'm going to just make myself out to be this. I don't know. He tried to make himself to be a sympathetic figure. He tried, but I can't imagine anybody who's a neutral observer went into that and came out of it thinking, oh, yeah, Connor Stalions is a sympathetic guy. People are probably like, this guy's an idiot. Okay. Let's get to some final questions here before we wrap up the show. Boy, Danny Cannell's going after him. I had a chance to meet Danny at Big Ten Media Days. I love that CBS is part of the Big Ten now. Ohio State's game against Akron is going to be on CBS, 3:30. And Danny Cannell's just going after Michigan. He just posted on Twitter, just Michigan Wolverines asterisks, just that. And then he posted like a bunch of stuff about, them cheating. He's going after him. It's pretty funny. Yeah, I don't think, I could be wrong here. I don't think the national title gets stripped, because that would have to be the college football playoff doing that. Just a guess. I'm sure that's on the table. Michigan fans are concerned about that. My guess is that won't get stripped. Could be wrong. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. Really, really interesting to see what happens. Yeah, Danny Cannell. I think Eric on Facebook, Cannell says out loud what others say quietly. Yeah, I like that he's not afraid of Michigan Twitter or whatever it might be, or the backlash that he might get being a national guy. Now, yes, it does stem from him being a Florida State guy and seeing his team not make the playoffs last year, even though they're undefeated at the time, and Michigan obviously wins the national championship. I understand he's biased himself, but he's not wrong. He's not wrong. I don't know, man. I have Hollywood Hagger asking on YouTube what do I think the penalties will be. I don't know. I don't have a really good feel for that. I just know it's going to, I've always thought, and I definitely feel this way now. I've always thought it's going to be at least semi-severe. So what do I mean by that? Like at least a 1 year postseason ban, vacated wins. Now you ask yourself, if they have to vacate wins, wouldn't that mean they'd have to vacate the national championship? Again, that would be up to the CFP. It's a completely separate entity. Whatever the Big Ten decides, whatever the NCAA decides, the CFP can still say, well, no, we're not stripping them of the title. So, and it might be, yeah, some people are saying the title will be, it very well could be. Ken Taco Hut, another one of our loyal listeners here. I've got a lot of loyal listeners. Appreciate you guys very much. Loyal viewers/listeners. Ken Taco Hut saying the title will be vacated. I won't be shocked if it is. I'm just not predicting it will be. I don't know. We'll see. All right, my friends, good stuff. Appreciate you guys joining me for the solo edition of the Morning Five. 3 days away. Doesn't that feel good? 3 days away. Dan Rubin will be with you tomorrow with the Dean and the Pooh Ball. I guess I shouldn't speak. I think it'll be the Dean and the Pooh Ball. I'll be with you on Friday with Jay Book. Oh, man. Day before the game, Jay Book and I, that's going to be fun. And I'll be with you after the game for what we learned live right after the game. Live post-game show right after the game, what we learned live right after Ohio State Akron. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day. And if you're still with me, I want to let you guys know about our friends at Joy Mode. Men, I want to tell you about our friends at Joy Mode. Their trademark product, the Sexual Performance Booster, is every man's solution for increased blood flow, stamina, and performance. It's like a pre-workout, but for sex. All ingredients have been assessed in peer-reviewed journals. All ingredients have been studied and researched in humans. Yes, humans. It's good. It's good as humans and not robots. It comes in a palm-sized packet like your favorite electrolyte powder. Simply mix with 6 to 8 ounces of water 45 minutes before activity and watch the magic unfold literally. Go to tryjoymode.com/bucknuts and get 20% off with code Bucknuts at checkout. Again, that's 20% off and free shipping with code Bucknuts at tryjoymode.com/Bucknuts. Great sex solved naturally. Again, thanks to everybody for joining me on the show. I appreciate it. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day.